Welcome back to Fix My Maths. Today we're learning about trigonometry.
Welcome back to Fix My Maths. Today we're tackling one of the big topics that appear on every GCSE paper, finding missing angles in right-angled triangles using SOH CAH TOA. If you ever looked at a triangle question and thought, which formula do I ever use? Don't worry, by the end of this video, finding angles will feel natural and simple. We'll break it down step by step. First, what SOH CAH TOA actually means, then how to set up angle questions, then how to use your calculator correctly, and finally, how to avoid the most common mistakes students make. Trigonometry is essential for higher maths topics like bearings, vectors, and even Pythagoras extensions. So mastering this now makes the rest of your GCSEs so much easier. Let's get straight onto it. Always start by labelling the sides of the right angled triangle relative to the angle you're working with. Here's how. Opposite, the side directly across from the angle. Adjacent, the side next to the angle, and hypotenuse, the longest side opposite the right angle. Now we can use the three trig ratios. SOH CAH TOA. Sin equals opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and the tangent equals opposite divided by the adjacent. A super easy way to remember this: some old horse caught a herring touching an ostrich. It's silly, but it sticks. Here's the part students often miss when you're finding an angle. You need the inverse function on your calculator. So sin minus 1, cos minus 1, and tan minus 1. These undo the trig ratios and give you the angle instead of the side. Angled triangle where the opposite side is 7 centimeters, the adjacent side is 10 centimeters, and the theta is between the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. So step 1 is identify the sides. We are given the opposite side and the adjacent. This tells us which formula to use. Step 2, match the SOH CAH TOA. Opposite plus adjacent equals TOA. So the formula is theta equals opposite divided by adjacent. Step 3, substitute the numbers. And the theta equals 7 divided by 10. Step 4, use the inverse tan. So theta equals tan minus equals 7 tenths. Using your calculator, the theta equals 34.99, which rounds to 35 degrees. Questions with slightly trickier side positions. Example 2. A ladder leans against the wall. The ladder is 5 meters long. The base of the ladder is 2 meters away from the wall. Find the angle the ladder makes with the ground. So step 1 would be draw and label the triangle. The ladder is the hypotenuse. The ground is the adjacent to the angle. The height up the wall is the opposite. Here we know the hypotenuse is 5 and the adjacent is 2. Step 2, choose the formula. The adjacent plus hypotenuse equals CAH. So cos equals adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Step 3, substitute the numbers. So cos equals 2 divided by 5. Step 4, use the inverse cosine. So theta equals cosine divided by minus 1, which equals 2/5. Then use your calculator, so the theta equals 66.42, which rounds up to 66 degrees.
Top tip: if the angle is steep, expect a big number. If it's shallow, expect a small one. Top tip: if the angle is
as a memory trick, but don't truly understand what happens behind the scenes. And once you do understand it, questions become way easier. So what sin, cos, and tan actually mean? Imagine a right angled triangle. Pick one of the two non-right angles. That's our angle of focus. From that angle, opposite is the side directly across from it. Adjacent is the side next to it, and hypotenuse is the longest side. Now here's the important part. Sin of an angle equals opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle equals adjacent divided by hypotenuse. And the tangent of an angle equals opposite divided by adjacent. These are ratios. They don't depend on the size of the triangle, only the angle. So any triangle with the same angle will give the same ratio. That's why your calculator can tell you sin is 37 degrees without needing the triangle. When do I use each one is a common question that's asked. One of the most confusing parts for GCSE students is choosing which button to press. Here's a simple and super clear rule. If your unknown is opposite and you know the hypotenuse, use sin. If your unknown is adjacent and you know the hypotenuse, use cos. If your unknown is opposite and you know that adjacent, use tan. If you can identify which two sides are involved, picking the right ratio between becomes automatic. Here's one extra example, just in case you're still confused. Find the size of angle A in this triangle. So the adjacent is 8 centimeters and the hypotenuse is 10 centimeters. Let's explain. Here we're finding an angle, not a side, so we need an inverse function. So step 1, identify the sides we're using. 8 centimeters is the adjacent, 10 centimeters is the hypotenuse. This is a cos question, or CAH. 2, set up the formula. So cos equals adjacent divided by the hypotenuse, which equals 8/10. Calculate that ratio, equals 0.8. Then use the inverse cosine to find the angle. So A equals cosine minus on the calculator, which equals 0.8. So the final answer is A, which equals 36.87, which is rounded up to 37. So here's the full method for finding missing angles. Number 1, label the sides, opposite, adjacent and hypotenuse. Number 2, pick the formula, SOH, CAH or TOA. Number 3, substitute the numbers. 4, use inverse trig, so sin minus 1, cos minus 1 or tan minus 1, which you'll find on the calculator. And 5, round your answers to the nearest degree unless told otherwise. Once you practice these a few times, it becomes automatic. If you want a video on using SOH CAH TOA to find missing sides, let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more GCSE maths every Wednesday and Friday.